Okay, for this first part, for these over here, we are going to find your x-intercept or your y-intercept. For the key, I did both. So ideally, it's good to do both, but since I like to write big, I'm just going to we'll do this column x-intercepts and this column y-intercepts. So if you want to find your x-intercept, you're going to leave your x. And so whenever you have an x-intercept, it's going to be your x and then 0. So your y is going to be 0 for x-intercepts. So if your y is 0, we're going to simply plug in a 0 for our y to find what our x would be. So 8 times 0, 0, 2x minus 4. Now we want to get x by itself, so we're going to add 4 to both sides. So you'll get 4 equals 2x. And if you divide both sides by 2 to get x by itself, so you get x equals 2. And your x-intercept will be 2, 0. And you can also plug this into your calculator, just get y by itself. But we're going to do that with, and then with these over here, we're going to isolate y. So we're going to find y equals mx plus b. So I will go ahead and do these over here, and then we'll go back to our x-intercepts and our y-intercepts. So this one is already in the format, so you don't have to do anything to it, just y equals x minus 15. Okay, for this one, we need to get y by itself, so we're going to divide the whole thing by 4. So it would be like 4y equals x plus 2, divide by y, or divide by 4, divide by 4. So just divide everything by 4. So 4y divided by 4 equals y. X divided by 4, and then 2 divided by 4. Now, if you just have an x, that's going to be a presumed 1. So like it'd be like 1 right there, so it'd be 1/4 x. So it's y equals 1/4 x. And then 2/4, which simplifies to 1/2. That would be your answer. Okay, this one, we're going to get y by itself, which is divide by 2. So that'd be y equals, and then 4 divided by 2 is 2, so that'd be 2x. And then negative 5 divided by 2, and we'll just leave that as a fraction. Okay, this one, already in y-intercept form, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, now we have 2y equals 3x plus 2. We're just going to divide everything by 2. So that's y equals 3 over 2x plus 1. And it's okay to have a fraction for your slope. That is completely okay, because it's going to be like your rise over run, which we'll look at here in a second. So yeah, that's what that is. You just divide each segment. So like this is a segment, this is a segment, this is a segment, by 2. Same thing. So divide this by 2. That's y equals 5 over 2x plus 17 over 2. And it's not a big deal if you have a y-intercept that's a fraction. Now, if it wanted you to graph it personally, I would change it to a decimal. So that'd be y equals 5 over 2x plus 8.5. Because if you're going to graph something, do you automatically know where 17 and 17 over 2 is, or do you know where 8.5 is? Okay, so now we're going to go back over here and we'll do a y-intercept. So for your y-intercept, it's 0 and then your y. So your x is 0. So 2y, and then since your x is 0, you'll plug in 0 for x plus 5. So that's 2y equals 5 divided by 2. Y equals 5 over 2. So then whenever you write that, it'll be your x is 0, and then 5 over 2. So now we'll do all our y's and then all our x's. Since I'm just splitting these. So since we're doing another y, we're going to leave what we're trying to find, plug in 0 for x, and there we go. So that's 2y equals 15 divided by 2, and your y equals 15 over 2. On y'all's paper, there's like, this is I duplicated those questions, so y'all don't have to. Here we go. So it'll be 0 and 15 over 2. Next one, 5y equals 2, 0 minus 4. So 5y equals 2 times 0 is 0 minus 4. So that's 5y equals negative 4. Get your y by itself. And y equals negative 4 over 5. Then write it as an ordered pair. And there you go. So now let's finish off our x-intercepts. So that means our y's are going to be 0. So that's 0 equals 5x plus 4. You want to get x by itself, so move the 4 over. That's negative 4 equals 5x. Divide by the 5 to get x by itself, and your x equals negative 4 over 5. So that'll be negative 4 over 5, 0, and that's your point. Same thing, plug in 0 for y if you're trying to find your x-intercept. So, okay, now that 0 equals 4x minus 2, add 2 to both sides to get x. So then that is 2 equals 4x divided by 4. And then that will simplify down to a half. And for the last one, we have 0, nope, we have 0, equals 5x minus 4, yep, get it by itself. So then you end up getting 4 equals 5x divided by your 5, you get x equals 4 over 5. And then write it as ordered pair. And that is it for that worksheet.